Scorpio. Welcome to 8 of Cups Tarot. Welcome to your cards for July. July is such a cool month for us this year. I've been telling everybody for a while now it's going to be a hot summer. A lot of things go on in July. A lot of our personal planets do some really cool stuff. They make a lot of oppositions and squares to the outer planets. These outer planets are retrograde, so it's really productive energy. As well, we have Venus and Mars coming together in a conjunction in Leo, which is in your 10th house. And there's a big emphasis for you guys this month on your 9th and 10th house. So I think it's going to be a lot of intense focus on the new things in your life. I really like this energy. And as I started shuffling the cards, I just kept hearing the word focus over and over. And I feel like there's an intense focus on what's coming next for you, Scorpio. Now, you are coming out this month as the Page of Coins. And I like this energy because it does kind of hold on to that energy of focus, right? When I see a Page of Coins, it's a very real possibility or opportunity. There's probably something that you're interested in, and that's kind of putting it lightly because like I said, there seems to be a path you're being led down. That's what I want to say. Probably all of the timing and there's a lot to do with relationships within your reading and within your astrology. I mean, you've got Uranus in your 7th house making a square to both Mars and Venus this month, as well as that major square to Uranus all year. And there's so much going on as far as being in the right relationships. And that's not just romantic relationships, right? That's business partnerships, it's the right clients and the right opportunities. Because we have that along with the emphasis on your 9th and 10th house, I'm feeling as though there is like a destination or an achievement that you're really focused on this month. Because it's a page, it feels new. Probably a new opportunity. It could be a new love interest. It could be a new skill that you're looking at. It could be energy of going back to school or learning new things. So there's definitely something new here. And your environment is that of the moon, which does represent an air of mystery. Now, I like that because you're a page and there's probably a little bit of strategy, right? The page isn't childlike. It isn't, irresponsible. This is focus and strategy. This is setting new goals. This is moving towards something brand new, but intelligently, cautiously. I don't see any Scorpios kind of really going out on a limb. But because you have the moon card here, there's an element of not really knowing where this is going to take you. There might even feel like you don't really understand why you're getting this inspiration or why you're doing these things to begin with. Now, the moon can also feel like it's very faded. And it could represent kind of that feminine energy. And it always reminds me of Cancer. We've got a lot of Cancer energy this month. And it's really all about heart energy this month. And there's an element here where I think you're starting to learn about yourself a little bit more in the process. Probably the process of unknowing is getting you to know yourself better, right? When you're in an environment where you're not quite sure where this is going to lead or if it's going to amount to anything, there's just like this interest and you're kind of going with the flow. The moon card can represent surrender. And there is an element of having to really get into the heart space, into the feeling space. I know it's been a lot for Scorpios these last couple of years. I know you guys have gone through a lot of changes and adjustments. North Node in the 8th house. There's been a lot of karmic lessons about how you deeply relate to other people. Now, that could be kind of on a psychological basis, it could be on a financial basis. And with Taurus, you know, your 7th house with Uranus and Saturn squares, if you're not in the right place, if you're not in the right environments, if you're not in the right relationships, July is going to come and make it absolutely impossible for you to remain the same. And that's why there's like this focus on the new for you. We're breaking up all of these old parts of self. We're breaking up these old habits and patterns, or the things that were holding us back. And we're starting to invest in ourselves a little bit more, probably on an emotional basis for you. This is very feeling energy. So whatever you're being led to, wherever, you know, if there's a new path that you're going down, you can trust that it's going to teach you how to trust yourself and follow your intuition a little bit more. Now I'm going to go ahead and get into the 9-card block. I'm going to put it up here for you guys to see. The first cards out are the 6 of Swords, the 10 of Pentacles, and the Judgment card. And for me, this is all about the sun and the new moon moving into that energy of Cancer in your 10th house, in your 9th house. And then we've got the energy of Mars and Venus making conjunction in your 10th house. And this is like all about the purpose. Scorpio, this is not a light energy. There's like a deep knowing, like I said with the moon here, there's like this deep knowing of where you belong or where you're headed or where you're meant to go. There's like this clear path. And because we've got that moon energy, the environment is kind of allowing you to say you can let go. Because I see this 10 of Pentacles and I see it representing your destiny. Some of you, you're probably intensely ready to move on to something new and different in your life. There's probably an element of wanting to commit to the new things, right? The 5 of Swords is moving towards calmer waters. For some of my Scorpios, you might be making a big move, like even to another state. There could be some travel. I've been picking up travel in a lot of these readings, and sometimes that could quite literally mean travel, you know, going on that dream vacation or doing that thing, or, you know, going to a new city, or just feeling like you're called to do these things. For some of us, it could be a permanent move, and for some of it's a little more ethereal. It's about just following your path and your destiny, which can often represent, especially with a Judgment card, the dropping of the ego a little bit. So as humans, we kind of resist. We resist making the changes, Scorpio. You are a fixed sign. My fixed signs are really getting hit this year, this month, quite intensely. You can have a tendency to stay in scenarios that are no longer comfortable, right? Sometimes the discomfort it overweighs our decision to follow our path. And I think that's probably part of that Judgment card. There's probably some commitments that you're moving away from, or some things that they have been in your life for a really long time. Like say you've worked at the same job for 20 years. Say you've been with the same person or in the same relationship for 20 years, or like even just done, you know, because it's a Pentacle energy, I'm picking up on emphasis on your career. There's something that you've done for a really long time and it's no longer fulfilling you. It's probably going to be the time to really make the change or commit to the change, you know. Some of you have been in a career for a long time. July is going to come, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make the move right now, although July can be a little bit impulsive. I don't pick up on an impulsive energy here. I actually feel like there's a moving away from the instability, moving away from chaos in a way, to calmer waters. And maybe that means you're in a toxic work environment and you don't really want to do this anymore. You're not at liberty to like leave. But what you can do is start taking some night courses or learning a new skill or something. Maybe you want to leave a permanent gig and kind of make your side gig a full-time thing. but it's definitely moving to something where you could be in more control. Now, because we've got the Six of Swords, and this card in particular, they're in water, they're moving through emotion, right? And the Six of Swords is very intelligent energy. There's communication, there's honesty. In this picture, we have 3 people in a boat, and oftentimes it's kind of the masculine part of you, which means the part of you that's willing to take action and to move forward on a path in the way of protecting your more feminine energy as well as your childlike energy. And there's also an emphasis here on your inner child and maybe some healing. Now, we do have a lot going on. Saturn it is in retrograde in your 4th house. So that's like a whole lot of karma going on there in your emotional world, probably with your family, with the place that you grew up with, where you see your roots. And as well, we have Jupiter, it kind of moved into Pisces for a little bit, but at the end of July, he's going to retrograde back into Aquarius in your 4th house. And it's going to bring that emphasis back. Maybe there were some decisions that you thought about making for the past few months and you kind of put it off, or you didn't do it, or you weren't sure where things were going. And I think you're going to get some clarity. And like I said, it's really very destined. It's very intelligent, inner knowing kind of instinct that you're coming over. Now, we've got the 3 of Wands underneath the 6 of Swords, and that's in reverse. And there's just an element, like I said, I don't pick up on being impulsive. However, the 3 of Wands does represent the waiting. And there's probably a situation that you were hoping would happen, right? Something that you were hoping would come to fruition, or something would pan out, something would work out. You were waiting on other circumstances, like, is this job going to get better? Maybe you have like a nightmare boss and you were hoping that they would get replaced, and now it's like you're not willing to wait anymore. And that's what I get with that Moon card. The environment may feel not so supportive, and yet your pool or your intuition says it doesn't matter. I think it doesn't matter because you can't stay here. Now I'm looking at this entire second row, all reverse cards. We've got a 3, 4, and a 5. Center of your reading, 5 of Wands in reverse. Some of you Scorpios may have been in situations, and this I'm picking up on like relationships specifically. You've been dating somebody or waiting on somebody to kind of pick you or to take things to the next level. I don't really like to say pick you, but maybe there was some competition there with the 5 of Wands. It could be not even competition as well as just not on the right vibration and not on the same page with somebody. And when we do that, when we're not on the same page, or we have different feelings, or we want somebody to commit to us, and they're not willing to commit because they're just not there yet. And there's part of us that can kind of just let that go and acknowledge that some people are just going to choose a different path. They're going to want different things than what you want. They're just going to be different than who you are. And it's just not going to resonate or be on your frequency. And when that happens, things tend to fall apart, and it is all a part of your destiny. Now remember, right above that 5 of Wands is a 10 of Pentacles. And because we've got the 4 of Cups in reverse, it just feels like a really long time that you've been in this energy trying to make something work that was never going to work. There's an element of not wanting to feel complacent anymore, not wanting to, you want to feel grateful for your life. You want to feel alive again. And in the energy that you have been in, probably for a while, it feels like you've been having to really fight to be seen, fight to be heard, fight for yourself, having to defend yourself in some way. And because we've got that Judgment card, there's like this epiphany that happens where you realize that you only need yourself to move yourself out of that situation. It's not up to anybody else. If you don't want to feel a certain way anymore, if you don't want to be in an environment anymore, if you don't want to entertain certain aspects or patterns that you bring into relationships, it's up to you. You could say you're done. You know, I'm done being in situations where people don't want to make commitments, or I'm done waiting for the raise that I know that I deserve, or waiting for the investment that I've been promised. Having to fight for yourself is exhausting. Fight for your attention, fight for your acknowledgement or being seen in some way. And when you show up and you do a really good job and people take you for granted, it could be a shitty feeling, you know, and that's where we get stuck in these patterns of just doing things over and over out of routine. And then you realize that it's just not emotionally fulfilling. And I feel like a need for emotional fulfillment at a deeper level. Again, with this moon card, there's like a wanting to fulfill a dream or wanting to fulfill like the perfect relationship. And you know that the situations that you're in, the places that you're living, the places that you're working, like they just are not conducive of inviting the energy in that you want to experience next. So there's definitely a moving forward, and it comes with having to end or walk away from certain things. Like I said, this can happen really fast in July, but I don't feel like it's any surprise energy. It feels like this is something you've been wanting or hoping for a long time, but maybe been leaving it up to some extenuating circumstances or for other people in your life, like waiting for other people to make the decisions. And now you kind of take destiny into your own hands. Bottom of the deck, we have a Six of Cups, the Sun, and the Three of Pentacles. And I love sorry, Scorpio, got a little bit of an interruption there. What I was saying about the Six of Cups and the Sun card together is this is a tapping into the inner child. This is a tapping into a healing process where you could enter relationships or job scenarios based on a really good feeling, based on probably an aspect of destiny and innocence and the ability to be yourself. And I think that once you start to walk away or close out chapters in your life where you can't have these things, the good stuff starts to come in. And because it's right next to the Three of Pentacles, this is like building the foundations for something so much better. Scorpio, there's so much expansion coming your way. July might be uncomfortable. Might be uncomfortable because you really just don't know how this is all going to unfold. And I think this is a promise that you're on the right path. You're doing the things that you're meant to do. You're feeling the things that you're meant to feel. The universe is like asking you to take control, to start to follow your path of destiny. Now, the Six of Cups can be something, you know, for some of you, you might be moving back home in some way. You know, you might have been on a journey or moved out of state or something. And for some of you, this is like coming back home. It can be the return of somebody you were with in the past. It doesn't necessarily have to be like an ex. It could be like somebody that you used to know, or even a past life love kind of energy. Regardless of who it is, there's a feeling of familiarity. If this is a new skill, it could feel like you just kind of know how to do it. You know, maybe this is something that you've done in past lifetimes or something. But there's a familiarity and a comfort that comes with doing it. And because it's a Sun card, it's an essence of true happiness, you know? And it's kind of like when we say, find a job you love to do and you won't work a day in your life. And that stands for relationships too. If we've been going through relationships where everything feels like it's a fight or a struggle, if you've been in relationships where there's been a lot of chaos and ups and downs and you don't quite know where you're going, you start to realize that you want out of those scenarios and you want something that's just softer, more reliable, more unconditional kind of love. And I think that's kind of the environment that you're headed for. And the Three of Pentacles does indicate to me, at the very least, that you're willing to make the investments for the stronger foundation. Maybe there's offers coming in, or maybe you're making offers to somebody, and it's going to lead to a lot more, getting to know somebody. But the Three of Pentacles, the Page of Coins, like these are 10 of Pentacles, like it doesn't happen overnight. There's a process here. So whatever you're working on is going to take a little while to unfold. Also, while you're in that moon energy of kind of not knowing. Now, underneath the Page of Coins, we have the timing card, take time to breathe out, disseminating moon. And that's all about the release. Now, we had a full moon in Capricorn in your 3rd house, and then we'll have another full moon in Aquarius in your 4th house. This is closing out old emotional patterns, probably releasing fears, releasing feelings of not being good enough. Like I said, that 5 of Wands in the center of the reading has a lot to do with feeling like you have to compete. Can come kind of internally as a feeling of not being good enough. And sometimes we're just with people or in relationships or in work environments where there's people that constantly make us feel like we're not capable, we're not good at what we're doing, and it makes us feel defensive, right? It's not a good feeling. And you're moving out of that, you're letting go of those things, because when we're in those situations, our ego can hold on to them. Like we want to make them work because then we won't look like a failure. And this environment is saying you're not a failure when you let something go. It means that you want something better. And how long can you try to force something to work? 2021 is not going to allow us to be in any situations where we have to struggle to make things work. It's not about the hard work. Like, look at in the collective, like we can't get people to go to work. There's been a shift in perspective. There's been a shift in priorities. There's good and bad that comes with it. But we really do truly understand why we can't be in these scenarios anymore and how harmful it is. It's harmful to our mental health. It's harmful to our physical health. If there are bad habits of any kind, there's an emphasis on wanting to be healthier and wanting to do better. And this can also talk about family healing as well. Maybe you could spend a lot of time looking at your family, your roots, your heritage, and maybe your entire family struggled. They struggled in relationships, they struggled financially. And there's a certain investment or a belief in yourself that can occur that can break that karmic cycle. I think that's what we're moving towards now, is breaking kind of these karmic cycles. Being brave enough and courageous enough to move out of these scenarios, knowing that the universe is going to start giving us what's better as soon as we stop settling. And there's probably an immense healing with your body, with your, psychologically, an immense healing that comes when you get yourself out of these situations. Now, underneath the moon card, we have the Black Moon Lilith mystery. This is a 3. Now, remember, I talked about that feminine energy in the very first card. There may be something around the fact that in some of your situations, there's an inability to be soft. There's an inability to show your more feminine nature. Now, this is not gender specific. We all have feminine and masculine energy within us. The feminine does represent the parts of us where we receive love. And how comfortable are we receiving love? How comfortable are we at receiving abundance? We can go through a lot of parts of our life not realizing how uncomfortable we are with abundance. There's probably underlying issues, like I said, of not feeling like you deserve all the wonderful things. That Black Moon Lilith, it's like the ultimate feminine energy where she won't be denied. So there's like this uprising within you that says, no, I deserve more. I deserve better relationships. I deserve the job of my dreams. I deserve to do fulfilling things in my life. and I can't be stuck. Black Moon Lilith is kind of like this, I don't want to say vengeful, because it doesn't have to be vengeful. It's just not settling. Not settling for like what everybody else wants us to do. And using that repressed feminine energy to help you rise above. And it's kind of that feeling of like, hell no, I'm not going to take it anymore. Now, underneath the underlying energy is the Seven of Cups, which can be it could be a card of a lot of different options. And because the moon card's here and we're in the unknowing, and one of the first things that I picked up on was the focus. And so there might be where you've not really had a lot of answers as to what the next thing is or how to go about doing this. And it can also represent indulgence. Okay, it could be where we're escaping, especially because underneath we have the Nine of Cups. Sometimes when we're in bad scenarios or in bad situations and environments that aren't, the best for us, we could oftentimes try to escape our lives. Now, whether that's drinking or drug use or some sort of addiction, it could be, being stuck in really bad patterns or stuck in some people don't want to leave a relationship until the new one comes along, right? Until the better option arrives. I think for some of you, the better option is arriving. I think for some of you, the better option could be another person or another job. And for some of you, the better option could be to come out of a place where you're sabotaging yourself and to step into a healthier lifestyle. Realize and be honest with yourself with that Judgment card and make the hard calls. If you want your life to be different, then you've got to do things differently. If you want to be healthier, then you have to quit smoking or improve your diet, do some yoga, get an exercise routine going. It's not just like wanting and then it appears. There's also an element of hard work as well with the Three of Pentacles. You being the Page of Coins. This is going to take an investment on your part to make the changes in order to, Nine of Cups, you have to make the investment. You have to pick the path. You have to choose to make the change. And once you do, it all kind of works out as if it was meant to be. But you have to make the moves first. Now under that, we got card number 5, closing doors and completion. And this is exactly, there are things that you have to leave behind, right? Even with the Moon card, there's things you have to quit. It could be a belief system. It could be a bad habit. It could be a bad relationship. If you're in a scenario where you're like friends with benefits for someone and you're spending all your time with them, then you're probably not trying to go out and meet new people. And we have to cut the ties to anything that isn't leading us towards our better destiny. It's not about wasting time for sure this month, Scorpio. It's about investing your time wisely. And underneath that, we got number 9, storm fields. And this is a clearing. I love that you got this card with the 7 of Cups and the closing door card, because this is all about the clearing. This is why this whole second row here is in reverse. The things that are meant cannot be there until you clear the path. And this is about making the space. This is about dropping the relationships or the jobs or the bad habits so that something better can come in. Better habits, better family relationships, all around better dynamics. And I do have to tell you guys, this card fell out. And when I picked it up and I picked the deck up, I realized that this one was on the bottom. It slipped out too. And I don't think it's to be ignored. Card number 27, breaking down to a 9 as well, is the card home. And it's about returning to your home. Now we have the 6 of Cups and the Sun card, and it's like the return to self. Whether it's returning to an old familiar person, meeting a soulmate that's meant to come across your path in this lifetime again, moving back home, literally, like maybe moving back home, but there's an element of finding yourself within the change. And I just feel like there's so much progress here for Scorpio because you're no longer in a place of being stuck. You start to realize that you can make the changes, you can change your life, you can change your environments, and it's the courage to do so. And not only is it the courage to do so, but it's also like the first initial steps, right? Page of Coins, Three of Pentacles. It's taking the first couple of steps. See, in the beginning of the month, you see what the Ten of Pentacles is. I want a better job. I want a better relationship. I want to start my own business. By the end, you get all that clarity. You clear out the energy. You make room for the new things to come in. And suddenly, all of the pieces start to come together. There could be somebody from your past that has an offer for you. There could be even advice or unconditional love from a sibling or friends that kind of put you in the right environment and build you back up. Three of Pentacles. Okay. And again, it's an element of new skills, learning new skills, even when it comes to relationships, meeting the kind of people, friends or loved ones or coworkers, where you want to invest and make each other better. Big emphasis there, guys. All right, Scorpio, beautiful, beautiful reading. I do hope that you guys have a wonderful month of July, and I will see you again soon for your August readings. Take care. Bye.